Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. An announcement we've been waiting for a very long time here in Call of Duty history. Feels like years at this point. Octane returning to 100 Thieves, joining Los Angeles Thieves, officially confirmed just a few minutes ago, and many other interesting things to dive into today as well. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Really to the channel, thank you very much indeed for doing that. No better time of course to hit that big red button if you haven't already. Many announcements like this to follow over the coming days, I am sure. Firstly, this one Modern Warfare 2 Ghost. Pretty interesting stuff with regard to Call of Duty Vanguard. There's a feature apparently called Suppression, returning to the new title. Even maybe it's not returning, I don't really know. Still, it's some sort of feature where when you get shot at, you start moving slower than you normally would. I think this might change depending on what like a weapon you have equipped or whatever. You might get slowed down less if you have an SMG in hand, and it depends what maybe they're shooting you with. But it's just one of these things. Why do I need a perk that reduces the movement penalty for firing and being suppressed? Like, I don't really understand why. Why do they want us to stand still and sit in a corner? Why don't they promote us running around the map and actually getting kills that way? But well, still, that's something to keep your eyes on going forwards. Just another one of these changes to the game that does not seem necessary to me at the very least. Now, this is also a major discussion right now. What's going to happen with expansion going into, of course, this year, with the Chicago and Paris spots potentially being a question mark around them, but also in future years as well. Fair bit of discussion here from Roger Saffold over at the Rise Nation. They've had a lot of great success throughout Call of Duty history about potentially returning very soon indeed. This image comes out from Orion right here. You can see like all these rosters, all these organizations that could potentially be in the league, and of course Rise Nation is one of them in the bottom left hand corner there. If you guys can't see it, here it is on screen right now. Obviously Call of Duty League would be pretty cool if these organizations were getting involved. This came out yesterday as well though from Crones of Rise Nation. Roger Saffold talking on this Bussin' podcast, talking really about well, Rise Nation, how he was in Call of Duty, had some great success with the roster, especially in World War II and previous season to that. Since then hasn't really been involved too much. Certainly wants to get involved though, and the CDL even saying to them, yes, we still want you to join the CDL. You have well, a lot of fan base around the league and people know who you are, and it's only a matter of time until that is going to happen.
I start off with Call of Duty, and I'm talking about Call of Duty 4 when the mania started.
So are you still in it?
Yeah, I'm still in it. I'm not.
Oh yeah, boy got big. I'm not gonna put the boys' stuff out there, but he got going on now.
Okay.
I still got a ton of contacts with Call of Duty, and I'm definitely trying to get a franchise with them next year because of COVID just messed everything up.
Well, how did COVID mess up video games?
That's what I was, yeah.
Well, what it did is it made all of the streaming way better, but nobody got to go to live events. So they're still not making as much money as they could have been making.
Live events is where the cash is at?
Yeah. So when it came to expanding the league, which they wanted to bring 4 more teams on, they were like, yo, we're just going to stick with these 12 teams until we're able to upgrade again. And we want you to own a franchise because everybody knows you in the space. So we're like, okay, we'll be down for that.
So of course, Rise Nation, if they do come in and whatever other organizations, they're trying to compete at the end of the day with Atlanta FaZe. These guys were pretty good at the World Championship, right? I mean, Cellium stats especially, given that aBeZy probably deserved some sort of MVP award over the season, but Simp got it for the regular season, aBeZy got it for playoffs, but Cellium had a 1.32 at the World Championship like that. We can't look past that, to be honest, in terms of giving out the awards, in my opinion at least. But of course, well, someone's going to have to try and take them down. One team that's going to be trying to do that is, of course, the Los Angeles Thieves. The confirmation has arrived. Welcome home, Octane. You'll know who he is already. He's going to be joining Los Angeles Thieves for this upcoming season. A very difficult couple of years here for Octane. He was obviously a phenomenal player in previous seasons, winning championships for multiple games, especially with 100 Thieves back in 2019, if you guys have been around for a couple of years now. The last couple of years have been nowhere near Octane Sam's best in terms of not only his individual performances, but also in terms of actually winning championships and taking home chips at the end of the day. Los Angeles Thieves is going to try and be a roster that's going to help him do that. As you see, Kenny wakes him up right here, wakes him up for the nightmare that has been the Seattle Surge these last couple of years, not just in terms of results, but also in terms of the organization as a whole. Octane's not been particularly happy with how things are being run over there, and of course, Kenny and Octane get on particularly well. We knew that this was coming for quite a while at this point, but still, the fashion in which it happens, the team that he's going to potentially be alongside, is still very exciting, because these rosters right now are stacked. The competition is at an all-time high, and getting a player with the caliber of Octane joining a squad like Los Angeles Thieves that actually should be competitive is very exciting for us as competitive Call of Duty fans. He goes on to say a few things right here that I'll share with you guys on screen, where he says kind of his expectations right here, the fact that yes, he even thought himself maybe he lost it a little bit, then he returned to LAN, went 11-1 in hardpoint even on Seattle Surge, and all of a sudden he was knocking out Atlanta FaZe and dropping like 1.5s on the main set, as he was doing I guess back on when he was on 100 Thieves during the Black Ops 4 season. So I'll share a little bit with this and then we'll discuss it in a little bit more depth.
The last 2 years, I feel like I've been watching competitive Call of Duty as opposed to playing it. So it feels good to be back.
Present the Astro Gaming MVP to Octane!
You know, ever since I left, it's the only place that I really wanted to be, so everyone's been waiting for it, and it finally happened. I mean, it seemed like you guys knew I was going to join the team before I did. Like, obviously, I had, you know, the 2 championships, so everyone, like, just kind of drew that conclusion when being on Seattle, like, it wasn't going too well.
OpTic, they win in 5, they move on. The Cinderella story for Surge is dead.
People think that I'm not as good as I used to be because I played online Call of Duty for a year and some months. And then I went back to LAN and we went like 11-1 in hardpoint and I dropped like a 1.9. Like people forget so easily in Call of Duty. Recency bias is like, it just runs rampant for some reason. So it felt weird going from like an online scenario where like, man, maybe I'm not that good anymore. Maybe I was giving myself doubts, and then we go back to LAN and I'm right back to where I picked up or left off.
So as Kenny says, the kid is back. Welcome back, brother. I'm pretty sure we went on to say something else as well about. Let's just find it right here. Sam Big, one of my best friends as well as my old teammate, has hyped me up for the new season. Welcome back at Octane. So very exciting stuff. One of the deadliest ALs, one of the straightest shooters in the entire league. He's going to be starting off the kind of the back line to this roster. Slasher, of course, gone elsewhere to Los Angeles. Gunless, that's a very exciting storyline. I'm keeping my eyes on going forwards. What happens next year when these guys are actually going to clash against each other and with the other organizations as well. Super fantastic stuff to keep your eyes on. This is Octane. Only place I belong is the LA Thieves. So yes, we knew this was happening for a fair bit of time right now, but of course, trying to emulate the success they had during the Black Ops 4 season, as you guys can see right here. So Kenny, Octane, Slasher, Enable, and Priestahh was the squad at the time, second at the World Championship, winning London and Anaheim back-to-back during that season, with Octane doing particularly well at both of those events. Since then, though, the Seattle Surge have been an absolute disaster, and that's the thing, right? You need a good SMG duo to do good things as a team, it seems, and without that on the Seattle Surge, it was a bit of a disaster, to be honest, from that team for these last couple of years. I mean, just terrible results, not really making any grand finals, not really making any money at all, and nowhere near what Octane, of course, was hoping for, and as he said in the video, like, kind of definitely thinks he can get back to that level some time this season. Certainly hoping he does, because if he does, then we are in for a treat as Call of Duty fans with the competition that this could, of course, entail. Simp says, congrats, brother, in the reply. So whether Los Angeles Thieves can compete this rumored roster with FaZe, of course, still does remain to be seen. But Octane is a good piece to get things started. That's the tweet we already looked at here from Kenny. And this from Nate dropped back like we never left. So Octane returning here makes perfect sense, just like they did a couple of years ago. And to be fair, when Los Angeles Thieves first came in, Octane, you would imagine, would have been a target, but they extended him over at the Seattle Surge last year. Slasher came in instead, and now they're moving down a direction with Octane as the main AR, Kenny as that kind of flex, and then they've got to find what their SMG lineup is going to be. This is the rumour at the present time, that Drazah's going to stay and Envoy comes into the team. Definitely a squad that seems to have an incredible amount of talent on paper. Los Angeles Thieves, I like the way they're going here with the competition they're trying to pull off, and whether they can make it happen here with Octane definitely does remain to be seen. I'm very interested to see, can Octane return to that type of level he's been at the previous couple of seasons? The last couple of years, especially Modern Warfare, he's putting up good numbers, not necessarily getting the results. Now, this season, I think that might be a different story, but still, there's a lot of other teams that are going to be very competitive out there, and whether Octane and Kenny can immediately kind of rekindle the fire that had them winning events a couple of years ago, that remains to be seen. Can Octane still be the player that he was? That also remains to be seen, but I think we've certainly seen, really, in the majors that he attended recently, he definitely still has what it takes, but of course, converting that on this new lineup, when there's a lot of pressure on, right, to perform here on Los Angeles Thieves. They want results, right, because the last couple of seasons for them have also been very tragic indeed as a player, in addition, of course, to Octane being in a difficult situation himself. Now, wanted to mention this as well, because yesterday we talked about snaking, right, in Vanguard. I know it's possible it could come back, right, if sliding's there, could snaking be there? But Gunless goes on to talk about yesterday the fact that, it doesn't look like that actually is going to be the case, and snaking might be very difficult to do, and if you do it, you're probably just going to die and look like a bit of a plonker.
Simp's perspective, like, it kind of looks like, since when it showed that like you can't really snake anything like at all, like it's super slow, and like it will like punish you like severely hard if you try to do like that repeative movement that you can do in most games.
Yeah,
but like I think that's what's causing like that slide cancel to be like funky or weird, because like that's like kind of like part of the movement, like crouching up and down, like in slide canceling.
So you can't crouch up and down like you did in past CODs in this new one.
No.
But you can't. No. You can't just keep spamming it. You can't just go up and down.
You could, but you probably just look really dumb, and like you would just die immediately.
Okay, so that's a good thing. They're probably trying to fix snaking then. They're trying to probably. What's so funny, Ben? What are you smiling over there
Nah,
for?
just the chat's funny. Go
Oh, well, because they're talking about MC? Yeah, well, listen, bro, I could guarantee you guys, chat, that if snaking wasn't a thing, MC would still be very, very, very good.
I mean,
he'd be just as good.
He'd be just as good.
I literally watched.
Now, another big discussion here, right, especially when we see some confirmations like this come out, is that the likes of Vivid. Could Vivid potentially get not signed anywhere at all? A really big question mark yesterday on the flank was, yeah, where does Vivid go? Like, where does he potentially find himself? Because right now, not many teams seem to be actually looking into Vivid. I thought Los Angeles Guerrillas could have been an option to go back to that organization. Could he find himself as a substitute somewhere, like at what does Chicago and Paris do, right? Because Vivid is few and far between are there great SMG talents in the league. Vivid seems to me like one of them, and just not seeing him anywhere right now on any of these rumored teams is certainly a massive surprise. I thought Los Angeles Thieves could be a good target at points, and he did great things this season on LAG and on the Dallas Empire, but it still right now does not seem to be in any of these rumored teams. So very interesting stuff. I just wanted to talk about this to finish off the video then from Edgar Allan Poe. This is a rich guy, rumored COD burner, talking about well, why didn't Activision let every interested team in for year one of Call of Duty, well, for the Call of Duty League? Pretty interesting stuff, right? Goes on to talk. I'll leave this link down below if you guys want to check out the entire thing. But effectively saying, yeah, look, yes, a lot of these organizations wanted to come in from, well, a lot less of a price point than they actually had to pay in the end, like the 25 million, 30 million mark was, well, not going to cut it for a lot of these organizations. So there's a fair amount of interest, and still is, in getting a spot in the CDL, but just a lot of the interest was not as high as publicly thought because of the price issues, but also because of some of the markets that were available. We saw as we scroll here further down that there was a lot of organizations interested in the Los Angeles spots, but we had the Cronky Sports Entertainment, we had Immortals Club. They decided to execute their right of first refusal, so that other Overwatch League teams couldn't come into League or didn't decide to make it into League. So interesting stuff here nonetheless, but definitely indicates along the lines there are still some groups involved most certainly in getting a spot here in the CDL. That could mean if not expansion this year, next year, hopefully that'll be the case. And earlier today we were talking about a potential player that could have made 60k, 100k, up to 500k. That's not necessarily the case through the entirety of the league, as it goes on to say right here, like I've always said, players should get as much money as possible during the inaugural year. Hopefully they saved some of it. Big ouch, because well, some of these organizations, some of these players certainly earning a lot less now than they were well, a couple of years ago, let's just say, when the league first kicked off, because well, pandemic and budget cuts have not made things particularly easy. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. Really helps out the YouTube icon, and if you enjoyed this content, I hope people like you may enjoy this content as well, and I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you much as always, take care, and I will see you next time.